Welcome back to LatiNation. Now up next we have our session segment, and it covers one of the most acclaimed artists in music today. Hurray for the Riff Raff is really Alynda Lee Segarra, but in many ways it's much more than that. It's about a young woman of Puerto Rican descent who grew up in the Bronx, leaving her stamp on American folk music. This is a story about Latino talent and a Latino perspective seeping and weaving into the American experience in ways few of us have ever imagined. This is the kind of story this show is really about. Check out Hurray for the Riff Raff right here on LatiNation.
Sessions is presented by McDonald's.
Look out, mama, I'm coming home. Look out, daddy, I'm gonna roll right up to.
City girl turned musical nomad, Alynda Lee Segarra, better known as Hurray for the Riff Raff, is taking her wandering persona on a journey to reinvent the way we look at American folk music.
I know it's wrong, but I can't help but want you all back to myself.
I left New York when I was 17. I felt like I kind of ran out of my possibilities growing up here. I just felt like there was a purpose for me, and being here was not a part of that plan. I just felt like I needed to find myself somewhere else. I wanted to kind of embark on an adventure and just take a risk.
I know it's wrong, but that's all right.
There's definitely a community of young artists and young people who we're searching for a place where we can do our art, where we can survive off of our art.
There must be somewhere in this whole world.
Well, it is uncommon for Puerto Ricans to play the style of music that I do, but I also feel like the common idea of American folk music is very white, and I think that's really weird because actually American folk music is based a lot on music from Africa. It's based on music from all over the world, really. So I think it's important for me to be out there, and I think it's very American to have a bunch of different influences.
Way down by the river where the bugles blow.
But also, folk music is very considered a style of music that takes place in the country. It isn't really considered an urban music. You know, hip-hop is something that people associate as being very urban. And I think I try to bring that element into my songs. I try to really make them be from a city kid who's traveling out in the country and seeing parts of America that I never knew existed. Hurray for the Riff Raff, it's really become something different than just me. It's become a group of people that are not always able to tour with me. It's kind of a family of musicians that I just love collaborating with and I love writing with. And we've really become more of a band that really tries to stand for the outsider and the underdog. So I really like to consider our music coming from the heart, and I really try to bring a political mindset back into folk music.
Well, they say he died 'cause he wore a hood. I guess he can't do it, but the Ku Klux could.
I think that our generation is really just hungry for something that feels real. And sadly, that's what's happened to a lot of really great forms of music. They've become a commercial.
And I tell you one thing that always makes some sense.
For me, something as intimate as, you know, a couple of years ago at South by Southwest, a girl stopped me as I was getting off stage and she was crying, and she just told me that my record really helped her in a really difficult time. That's what music did for me, you know, that's what Ani DeFranco did for me. So that's really where I get my real satisfaction.
Everyone's trying to make it first. I was thinking about you that